Every time the iron golem makes it back alive, he's silently cursing out every single villager, because just last night, they locked him outside the gates again, leaving him to face hundreds of zombies alone. After a brutal night of fighting, he barely managed to survive, but now his body is covered in cracks. So immediately, he heads straight for the blacksmith shop. This is where he was created, and the blacksmith is the only villager who actually cares about him. He quickly patches up the golem with iron ingots. Once fully repaired, the golem makes a request to the blacksmith. He wants him to build another iron golem. He really doesn't want to keep facing hundreds of zombies all by himself. The blacksmith gets it immediately and agrees right away. But when he opens the chest, he realizes he's completely out of iron blocks. Not wanting to let the golem down, the blacksmith thinks for a moment and gets an idea. He tries substituting soul soil for the iron, arranging it in the standard golem pattern. Obviously that doesn't work. Refusing to give up, he tries other materials. After failing with several different blocks, he finally stumbles upon copper. When he tests the copper blocks, something magical happens. The blocks start glowing intensely, and a pair of eyes appears in the golden light. Both of them are filled with anticipation, but as the light fades, their smiles freeze instantly. It's just a tiny one-block-high copper nugget, and judging by its goofy look, it clearly doesn't have much combat power. Leaving the shop, the iron golem walks ahead looking annoyed. He wanted a battle partner, not this thing that looks like a mascot. To make the little guy look a bit taller, the iron golem picks a rose and sticks it on his head. Then they continue patrolling the village. Suddenly, the frantic ringing of a bell shatters the peace. Outside the gates, the pillager captain gives the order, and hundreds of pillagers charge toward the village. Under the villagers' orders, the iron golem rushes outside the walls. The copper golem follows close behind. The next second, the gate slams shut behind them. According to village rules, the gate stays closed until the iron golem has eliminated all threats. Only then will they let him back in. Seeing the pillagers swarming toward him, the iron golem spreads his arms and unleashes his new helicopter spin move. Meanwhile, the copper golem works up the courage to sneak attack a pillager from behind. But he loses his balance and face plants. His clumsy fall makes the pillagers burst out laughing. They call over 2 more guys, and the 3 of them start stomping on him mercilessly. Luckily, the iron golem manages to break free from the mob momentarily. He spots the copper golem getting jumped, and can't just watch it happen. He rushes over to help, taking out the bullies in seconds. But that split-second distraction gives the Ravager a chance to ambush him. The iron golem gets sent flying, and cracks instantly appear all over his body. Just as he struggles to get back up, a witch appears out of nowhere in front of him, and smashes a potion of weakness on his head. Now, he can only watch helplessly as the pillagers storm the village. The Ravager smashes the gate open, and the horde floods inside. The pillager captain even shoots a mocking glance at the struggling iron golem before closing the gate. This raid is different from the usual ones. They aren't just looting supplies. They stay and build a massive tower in the village. From the outside, it looks like it's made of conductive copper blocks, topped with lightning rods. The captain stands at the top, admiring his masterpiece. He looks eagerly at the creepers being hauled up from below once they are locked into the cages next to the lightning rods. Just as the witch predicted, they'll be able to create mass destruction. Charged creepers. All they need now is a thunderstorm. Currently, the iron golem's mood is as gloomy as the forecast. He's depressed about losing his job. The only one by his side is the little copper golem. But seeing him just makes the iron golem angrier. He thinks if he hadn't tried to save the little guy, he wouldn't have been ambushed by the Ravager, and the village wouldn't have fallen so easily. Seeing the cold shoulder, the copper golem backs off. He decides to do something to fix this. He spots an opportunity. Outside the gate, pillagers are hauling construction materials into the village. Before entering, the guard inspects the supply cart. The copper golem climbs onto the cart and curls into a ball, successfully evading the check. Once the pillager leaves, he starts raiding the supplies. He swaps the weapons in the chest with loaves of bread. Then, he looks up and sees a crate full of copper blocks. A plan for a counterattack forms in his mind. Wait until the cart enters the gate. But the copper golem is already gone, taking 2 crates of supplies with him. The next day, the iron golem wakes up to a noise. He follows the sound to investigate, and sees the copper golem using the stolen materials to mass-produce copper blocks. He has created a huge, disciplined army of copper golems. The iron golem stares at the little guy in shock. He didn't know he had brains like that. Hope reignites in his heart. They can take back the village. Next, the copper army lines up to grab weapons from the chest. They form a neat formation and march toward the occupied village. At the back of the line, there is one unactivated, oxidized copper golem. This was intentional. Since it's not active, it acts as a statue, allowing it to be smuggled in via the pillager's supply chests. He successfully enters the village on the cart and is dumped in front of the villagers. Under pillager threats, the villagers are forced to pick up the copper blocks and build according to the pillager's demands. One villager uses an axe to scrape the oxidation off, turning it back to copper brown. During this process, the copper golem activates. He stretches his body, then uses his small size to slip past the guards. He sprints straight for the main gate, and as planned, hits the switch to open it. Outside the gate, the massive copper golem army stands ready with weapons. Then, the copper golem leader and the iron golem take the lead. With a command from the leader, they storm the village, clashing with the pillagers inside. The moment the iron golem enters, he instantly knocks 2 pillagers unconscious. The captain realizes things are going south. He orders his men to grab weapons and fight, but those weapon crates are the ones the copper golem tampered with. The weapons were swapped for food. The panicked pillagers don't realize it until their weapons shatter on impact. It clicks too late. Defenseless. They are beaten back rapidly. Only the Ravager is brave enough to charge forward. With one ram, he sends 3 copper golems flying. But just as he prepares a body slam, the Iron Golem rushes in and kicks him away. The fight is on. Without the other pillagers interfering, the Iron Golem wants revenge. A head-to-head win against the beast. Meanwhile, the copper golems use copper and redstone to build a mobile cannon. They load TNT into the chamber. The TNT activates and launches instantly. The massive explosion blows the pillagers off the tower. But just as they press the attack, 3 potions of slowness drop from the sky. It's the witch from before. She pulls a sword from her sleeve. Just as she strikes, the copper golem leader rushes in and blocks the hit for his friends. Who knew the witch had hands? Her swordsmanship is surprisingly good, forcing the copper golem back. Then, she slices the rose right off his head. But losing the rose removes his hesitation. He uses the lightning rod on his head as a weapon. It's part of his body, so he handles it perfectly. He rams the witch into the well behind her. After dealing with her, he picks up the rose and puts it back on. Meanwhile, the Iron Golem versus Ravager fight has reached its climax. They are evenly matched in strength, but the Iron Golem has the advantage of using tools. Using a club, 2 hits are enough to put the Ravager to sleep. But right as the fight ends, before the Iron Golem can catch his breath, the Pillager captain sneaks up behind him. Luckily, the Copper Golem arrives in time to stop the ambush. When the captain scrambles to his feet, he realizes he's in trouble. It's a 2v1 now, but the captain actually has some skills. He slide dodges the club attack and decides to take out the weaker Copper Golem first. Perfect plan. But the Iron Golem kicks him flying before he can execute it. Suddenly a thunderstorm rolls in. The rain pours down. A bolt of lightning strikes the tower. The lightning rods absorb all the energy, turning the caged creepers into massively destructive charged creepers. The captain cuts the chains, dropping the charged creeper from the top, while he rides the chain back up to the roof. Watching the descending charged creeper, the golem's faces turn grim, supercharged by lightning. The creeper moves incredibly fast, and there is no fuse delay anymore. One touch creates an instant explosion. The Iron Golem can't knock them back fast enough. He gets surrounded and blasted away. Covered in cracks, he falls unconscious instantly. Meanwhile, the rest of the Copper Golems are chased out of the village by the charged creepers. Now the village's only hope rests on this one Copper Golem. To make matters worse, a fresh batch of charged creepers is lowered down. Suddenly, the Copper Golem has a brilliant idea. He rushes away from the scene and runs straight into a villager's cat shop. Inside, he grabs a fishing rod from a chest and puts it into another crate. Using this method, he lures 3 cats into the box. Then he sprints back to the base of the tower and releases the cats. Seeing the cats, the charged creepers are terrified and turn around, fleeing back toward the tower. The pillagers' advantage collapses instantly. The explosion destroys the tower supports, and the whole structure comes crashing down. The captain, unable to escape in time, gets crushed at the bottom of the ruins. Soon, the remaining pillagers are driven out of the village. When the Iron Golem wakes up, he finds that all threats to the village are gone. His cracks have been repaired too. The happiest ones are the villagers, with the Copper Golems joining the workforce. They don't even have to do any manual labor anymore. They are finally living the carefree dream life.